Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Profit Minds podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Stephen Kirch, creator of the Profit Minds Growth System, a unique blend of profit growth, productivity acceleration, and building robust business process for scale. In every episode, I interview entrepreneurs and small business owners from around the world with a unique story to tell. You can find the show on YouTube, LinkedIn, Apple and Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and more. Well, hi, everyone. Today, my guest is Molly Mahoney, the prepared performer. And today we'll be talking about how to AI-ify your business. Welcome, Molly.
Hey, so good to be here with you. I'm so grateful. I know we're going to have a great time.
Yeah. So thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule. So the first question that I ask every guest, what's your story? How did you get to be the prepared performer and this AI-ify stuff?
Yeah, man, it seems, if you know my background, it seems like, what the heck? How are you doing all of this tech stuff? I don't understand. So I started off as a musical theater kid, musical theater performer professionally, which I love that we have some things in common with our love of music, which is so great. And while I was on tour with Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the musical, totally normal with the flying car, I decided to leave the world of professional singing and dancing, packed up everything from New York with my bass playing husband and moved back out to California where I grew up and started coaching other kids and adults to be able to build a musical theater singing career like I had done. So I was teaching dance, I was teaching singing, I was teaching acting, and I listened to Pat Flynn's podcast and decided, you know what, I bet I could take this online. And so I created the Prepared Performer as a way to help other people to be able to build their performance career in the beginning. So I was teaching audition tips, acting tips, and things like that. And then in 2016, when Facebook Live came out, I decided to switch everything. So rather than teaching performers how to have a business, I started teaching business owners how to perform.
Wow. And that's so valuable. Especially now. I mean, this was, 2016. And nobody thought that everybody was going to be on Zoom or everybody was going to be on video just a few years, right? So how fortunate for you that you were able to turn your passion for performance to help small business owners.
Yeah, it was a really, really amazing thing. And actually, it came out of a humongous sparkly boulder, like I like to say, which is a big failure, which was I decided because we had done so well with our vocal coaching business, I decided, you know what, I'm going to help other performers to do this. So I launched a program called Prepared Performer Profits. It fits in line with your profit mind, right? And I was set to be the cure for the starving artist syndrome. That was my mission. Turns out when you call someone a starving artist, they don't really like to pay you. So it was a mixed messaging.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So that did not work very well. I had about 15 people in the pilot, which they paid about $197. And then when I upped it to a $497 program, I expected to do like $30,000 in sales. I had these Facebook ads. I was working with loads of coaches. Not one person purchased.
Oh,
it was bad. And so in that moment is when I was like, okay, I know that I love what I'm doing. I know that I love helping people. What other opportunities could I switch? Like, how could I make a little bit of a tweak to have what I'm doing here turn into something that is actually profitable? And so when we made that switch, we launched a program called Camera Confidence, and we brought in $50,000 within 90 days, which was awesome.
Wow. That's quite a lesson that you learned, right?
Yeah, totally.
The whole psychology of the starving artist and the unsuccessful, right? That whole concept.
Yeah, and like the badge of honor that you wear when you're struggling. Like, what if things could actually be easy? What if things could actually be fun? What if you could be creative and an artist and make money at the same time? All of those things are so possible, but the messaging that I was leading with for it wasn't really hitting the nose.
Yeah.
That's the word.
So talk to me about the evolution from there to now this AI queen, right? The how to AI-ify your business. How did you
Yeah.
get from, because I mean, okay, so I have a PhD in physics,
Okay. Right.
and I sing,
Yes.
right? I'm a performer, right? I've done musical theater all my life. My first role, I think I was in sixth grade, right? I was in Oliver.
I love it.
Um, but so for me to do AI stuff wouldn't be that big a stretch. But talk to us about that journey.
Yeah, so it actually started with messenger bots. So when I started doing live video, when Facebook Live first came out, I was in Joel Comm's Facebook group and I saw this guy named Daniel Mayer post in the Facebook group saying that he had a tool that would allow you to be able to go side to side on like two people on screen, which before that, like I know we're doing that right now. Before that, Zoom wouldn't go live on Facebook and Blue Jeans was the only other tool that like you could go live from your desktop that way in a big way. But BeLive was really the first tool, which was Daniel's tool that allowed you to be able to create like a professional show with captions on the bottom and all this kind of stuff. So when I first saw Daniel's comment in this group, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to know more about this. And I started using BeLive. That was my first real venture into being completely obsessed with tech tools online. And I think for Daniel, who now is like my brother, I think for them, it was probably like, who is this crazy lady that is obsessed with our video tools? Right? So they ended up reaching out and asking me to be their host and their brand ambassador. So they hired me as one of the main at the time faces of the brand, which was super cool because then it was basically like I was working as a performer promoting this tool. So I would just do my show on their channel, on their channel, on their Facebook page. And then it was it was like a really great experience.
Yeah.
And I got to work with their dev team. And, since then, a lot of other tools have copied what they were doing back then, but it was really awesome to be on the forefront of something in a tech space like that. Cut to, I was at Social Media Marketing World in an event that Mari Smith was putting on, and my friend Kelly Mirabella leaned over and she was like, did you know that you can combine ManyChat, like Facebook Messenger bots, with a live video? And I said, I don't understand. Like, how does that work? Because you have to wait for the video to be live. So you can't really connect it to the bot. And she explained it to me really quickly. And it completely changed my life. Like I went home and that weekend, I spent the entire weekend learning how to build out this tech thing, this automated messenger bot that when you were doing a video, and at the time it was so like groundbreaking that I would say on a video, comment below with the word notes, and then magically an automated message would be sent to them inside Messenger. It was mind blowing. Do you remember when
Wow.
it came out?
No, because I wasn't doing anything like that
Okay.
then, right?
It was unbelievable. Like we had one video that I did where I said, hey, I said, are you a boutique owner? If you are like selling clothing, like a clothing boutique owner, if you are, and you're looking to boost your sales, I have something that'll really help you. Just comment below with the word connect and I'll send you information. It replied to them with a message that said, hey, here's a link to buy my program. That was basically all it said. We had 1,200 comments on that post. It ended up, we spent $900 in Facebook ads on it, just like as a boost to that specific niche. We
Yeah.
did $90,000 in sales off of that post, which I think partly it was because our offer was timed right, but also just people didn't know that it was so mind blowing to people that I could set up a tool like that. Like the
Yeah, but
experience was
an
totally
auto
different.
reply, right, was in
Yeah.
what was apparently a live Facebook, or a Facebook post.
Yeah. Yeah. It was wild. And then
Wow.
what really allowed us to do super well in that space, in addition to being one of the first to really be loud about it, is that we put all of the personality from my background in theater and all of that into the bot. So we got featured by ManyChat as one of the top 5 best chatbots to talk with because I made it fun and funny rather than just being like a hardcore marketer. We made it really entertaining as well. So it was like, I know people call it like edutainment, right? But it was basically we were just playing in there and used playful language and gifs and things like that.
Yeah. I love the way you've leveraged your performing skills with with the business that you're in,
Yeah,
right?
thank you.
And married those. It's yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah, you would
Um,
never have thought it before, but it's where I mean, I use so much of what I did as what I learned, not even and you know this, like having competed right in the ways that you've competed and you're like a skilled artist as a singer, but people don't think like, oh, well, that's just anybody could do that. They recognize that you had to learn how to do that. And it's the same thing with speaking on camera or with copywriting. Like these are all learned skill sets. And so to recognize that if you don't feel comfortable with it right away, that's exactly where you should be because you haven't fully put yourself out there to fall on your face. Yes.
right, and it takes time to build the skill,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it's okay. And by the way, those of you who have yet to really crack this, I would encourage you just do it. Just get
Because
out
you're
there
going to
and
learn no
do
matter
it.
what. Yeah.
Even if
And
you
that's
fall on your face, and oh, by the way, the people that watch you will see themselves there and they will connect with you even when you fall on your face.
especially when you fall on your face because it's an authenticity indicator. It allows them to feel that they can do what you're doing because if everything that you're doing is so perfect, then it's like, oh, well, I'd never be able to do that because it feels too unattainable.
Right.
So, and that, that's a big piece of what led us to being able to do this stuff with AI. So in 2021, way before ChatGPT came out, there was a tool that's now known as Jasper, which was
Yes.
called Jarvis
Yep.
before then.
Jarvis
And
for the Avengers, right?
exactly
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
this, the crackdown came from Disney because they got in trouble. But when it was first coming out, a lot of our members, I was obsessed with it. And a lot of our members were struggling because they were like, it's not giving me the answers that I really want. Well, our whole point was that you have to kind of dance with the AI. So we launched a program called Dancing with Jarvis that
Oh, I
was
love it.
on how to know the choreography of how to use these AI tools. And then when the name changed, I was like, why did I build my program based on somebody else's tool? So we changed it to the AI Content Club. And in the Content Club, now the big thing is everybody's using AI, or at least they know that it exists. And so weaving in, our whole point is that you're weird plus AI is what allows you to create content that converts. If all you're doing is using AI and you don't know who you are as a human being first, it's just going to be noise or like zombie content.
Yeah, that I think that's really insightful. The that AI will somehow magically transform, whatever it is that you type in or whatever prompt you give it will magically transform it into something that will connect with people. No, because it's gonna give you and me and everybody else the same answer unless we somehow put ourselves into it.
Total. And the same way that a human would be if you brought a human onto your team and you didn't give them actual like onboarding instructions on who you are and what the team stands for and who the ideal client is, they wouldn't be able to do very well. So it's similar and it's even more important because it moves so fast, it moves so quickly that if you don't slow down and season your AI assistant, as we like to say, then it's going to create a bunch of junk.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the old computer adage which my father taught me,
Okay.
right? Garbage in, garbage out,
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
right? And
Yeah,
and it just does it really fast.
totally.
Um, and the other thing that I think you need to be careful of, and I'd love to have your opinion on this as well, is the generic piece of AI. Um, you can get the same answer as everybody else. What you have to do is to figure out, what is the differentiator. Somebody said to me, everybody thinks X, but really
Yeah.
Y, right?
Yeah.
And so you can use the AI to come up with everybody thinks X, but it's your weird, as you say it,
Yeah.
right? That produces this is what's different.
Yeah. That's actually a template that we use for one of our posts to help get more engagement. is like, why is it that everybody thinks X when really Y? And then if I could show you how to get better results by blah, 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 would you want to know? But it's like, it's like, that's a good way to get people to kind of like, oh, you're right. It's like calling out a problem in the industry and creating content that's potentially polarizing, but really establishes yourself as the authority.
That's great.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. So talk to us about some of this, we'll talk about the weird, right? What is it?
Yeah.
What is it that you look for in this, they call it prompt engineering, and that's what you're doing. But I love the dancing with Jarvis. I think that's brilliant. But dancing with the AI bot.
Yeah.
How is it that you encourage folks to embrace their weird?
So we actually have a whole system around it. It's called the quesadilla of awesome. And this quesadilla of awesome came up because even when I was coaching like Broadway performers, I had several clients who had Broadway credits and they still would have the same kind of ish that would come up in these auditions. And I would be like, you're such a, rock star. How can you be nervous? But same kind of thing came up for them. It's the same thing that comes up when we're in a sales conversation, when we're doing a masterclass or a webinar. Really, we have to go back to Konstantin Stanislavski, as an acting theorist, wrote this giant chart of everything that it takes to be able to show up as a true actor. And the bottom of this chart, the first thing that it said is work on one's self. And so if we don't take the time to work on ourselves, we'll never be able to be Meryl Streep or, like whatever, really stand out. So what we do is we make a list of the 20 things that make you a uniquely awesome human. And for some people, this is really easy. For some people, they get stuck. And so I created an acronym to help them to be able to figure out what those things are. And if anyone is feeling like, I'm just not weird, I will tell you, you're weird. Like,
so you are unique.
Yes, you're unique and you're weird. But,
yeah, okay.
But weird is wonderful. And so we want to celebrate those things that maybe we feel a little bit of shame around. Maybe we feel a little bit of like, I mean, it's probably things that you feel really proud of, right? Also, but maybe you're afraid to admit. And so we make this list of these 20 things. And I can share the acronym with you if you'd like also.
I'd love it. Yeah, I think that would be great for our listeners.
Okay, so the acronym is, and this is a perfect example of like the weird coming out right away. The acronym is the word save. Now you may think save only has 4 letters, but I can't spell. So save has 5 letters actually. And I'll tell you what they are. It's SAAVE. And I used to be embarrassed about my spelling, but now I just spell things wrong on purpose so that you get over it, which is great. So
I love this.
SAAVE. And the S is for your skill sets. And these are the things that you are just naturally gifted at. You've always kind of been great at, and just jot some of those down. The A is for your appearance. And this is often not only for what other people think about the way we look, it's for what you think about the way you look. Because when you are on camera, the gremlins are going to be creeping up in your own head. And if you're feeling weird about the way that you look, or not weird, because that's a good word. If you're feeling uncomfortable about the way that you look, then your energy, your light is going to be dampened.
Absolutely.
So you want to make a list of the things that you love about your appearance. The next one is your activities. And so this is singing, like that's a perfect example, right? So you have awesome singing. You like to sing. I like to sing. Therefore, we instantly connect around that, right?
Right.
So knitting, crocheting, hiking, biking, whatever it is. That's your
the second A,
your activities. Okay. Then the V is for your values. And these are the things that are true to you as a human being, the values that you want to weave into your business. My kids know when they leave the house, I say, what's the most important thing in our family? Do you know what they say?
Embrace your weird. I don't know.
That's part of it. No, it's a kindness. So kindness is the most important thing in our family. And Charlie used to say kindness because he couldn't say his K's. So he'd always say kindness.
Kindness.
Yeah. So everything is centered around that, and everything that we're doing, even if you're being hardcore and setting boundaries, you're going to be kind. Right. And then the final thing is, now this is the one that is really surprising, and I have a prop that goes with it. I don't know where it is. Shoot. It's somewhere. Okay. Oh, here it's on top of my desk. It's like ready to go. All right. So the E is for things you like to eat. And so if you can find things that you like to eat or that you really don't like to eat that are polarizing and you can talk about them, you are going to create content gold. And so I'm going to show you 4 people have sent me in the mail the same dish towel that says, "Every day I'm Brussels," because I love Brussels sprouts. And so I have a post idea that is like the absolute key to unlocking the algorithm. The post is these 5 words. It's Brussels sprouts, yes or no. Post that on Facebook. Your algorithm will unlock. It's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. So those are all the pieces of the quesadilla of awesome.
I love that the misspelled save. I think that's terrific. It's easy to remember that way.
Totally.
Right? Because yeah, it's a 5-letter word.
Yeah. And then there's a little
Go ahead.
exercise that you do afterwards. We take our hands like this. Can you shake your hands like this? And then if you're listening to the podcast, just know that we're holding our fingers up and now we're going to start to tap them on our chest. So tap your fingers on your chest and then move your shoulders. Okay. And then you're going to make a little humming sound. Go. Okay. And it's so good. Every time I do it, you're like bringing, this is what I call the money dance. So you do the money dance and you're bringing your quesadilla of awesome into your whole being before you get on camera. It's like my sneaky way to get you to do a vocal warm up as well, a little bit. And that way you bring more of you into the videos, into your content, into your calls, whatever it is that you're doing.
Wow. Now, do you review that algorithm before you go on camera as well?
Yeah. So just having that nearby is something that you can read, tap into. Also, we feed it into our AI systems. So we tell the AI, hey, this is the thing that makes me unique. How does this apply to my brand? How can I create content around this quesadilla of awesome? So it's awesome.
Oh, that's really cool. Is there one other thing that just struck me, and one of the reasons that I think we fail to embrace the weird is because our brains are wired. We want to be like everybody else. We want to be liked by everybody else. And we think that if we're different, people somehow won't like us.
It's true. I don't know can I screen share on this? Is that something that you guys ever have, or does that mess up all the system?
I think it's doable.
Okay, I'm going to show you something if it's okay, if it's possible. I'm going to ask. Okay, I have this when I speak, this is actually something that I was battling myself, even though I talk about this so often. When I was on stage, sometimes there was actually only one time this really hit me. I was speaking at Traffic and Conversion, and there was this guy in the audience. And for all I know, he could have had a daughter in the hospital. I don't know. But he was sitting there with his arms crossed, and he was giving me just like all I could sense from him was this girl is an idiot. That was like the only thing. And he may have been thinking something totally different, right? But that's all I could sense from him. And so what I realized after the fact, because it definitely had an effect on my energy, because I was trying to I was like watching his reaction to my every move. I spoke to a friend that night and he said, you know what you should do? He's like, you should just share all of your troll and hater comments during your presentation. So since then, I always have this in my slides. So I'm going to share screen. I knew how to do it. I just didn't want to mess up the system here. So
no, it's okay.
Okay. So if you're watching this, you're going to love this. If you're listening to the podcast without watching it, I'm going to read them out loud. Okay. So this woman said she shared one of my, can you see it?
I can't see it yet.
Yeah, it's in there. We just got it. Perfect. Okay.
There it is. Okay.
Okay. So this woman shared one of my videos and she said this when she shared my video. She said, this girl annoys me, LOL, but she's got good advice. And if she can do it, you can too. Okay. So I replied to her and I said, you guys know that I can see what you write when you share. My blend of crazy isn't for everyone, but I'm glad you were able to find some helpful nuggets. Grateful for the share. Hope it helps you to connect with your audience in your own unique way. And then They replied, she is rather annoying. What? Okay, this person said, this repetitive, not attractive, but funny person is getting hidden today. I've seen this 50 times. Her lisp is irritating. Now, even though I have been a singing teacher, I didn't even really pick up on the fact that I had this lisp, but I've had dentures since I was 12. So when this lady messaged me and said, Molly, you have a lisp, you need to see me. You're speaking way too fast for a speaker teaching a masterclass. And please fix your lipstick, and then signed her name and all of the letters behind her name. I was like, what is actually happening? So I replied to her and I said, thanks for the feedback. I've actually had dentures since I was 12. So you're right in spotting that I do have a slight lisp. Whatever. I go through this whole entire thing. And then at the end, I'm like, OMG, you're so right about my lipstick. I went back and I looked at it and I thought, ooh, that's a little sloppy. But hey, it's a live video and there's no do-overs. I'm real, baby. I think I'll think about you when I apply my lipstick today. But then look what she said back to me. You're right. I apologize. Okay. This guy was super mad about my grammar. Again, why I spell wrong on purpose, like incorporating these things into my content so that I don't feel bad when people message me things like this. All of it. Okay. There's all of these, blah, 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 blah. Then this is the best. This guy, I'm assuming it's a guy, maybe it was a lady, I don't know, but this cat, you can see it's a YouTube. This is on YouTube. They have a cat as their profile picture. So this cat commented on my video and said, you talk too much. That's how you make money. And it's annoying. So I replied and I said, I'd like to personally thank you for inspiring our most liked post of the year. The Chatty Moneybags marketing coach costume was a hit. And so if you're not watching this on the video, find this video so that you can see this because it's really funny. So we took these spirit costume memes that were going around the internet, and people were putting a picture of themselves and then being like, oh, I'm a social media manager, and then saying all the awesome things about social media managers, right? So my team had sent me some examples and I was like, these aren't funny. And then I realized if I could make fun of myself, then it was going to be way better. So I went to my husband and I said, hey, we got these negative comments. This one is recent. If we wanted to make a costume based on this negative comment, what would you call me? And he was like, duh, you're a Chatty Moneybags marketing coach. So this is what's included. One banana phone, which might not make sense, but I usually have a banana phone on my desk because our banana phone is the direct line to the universe to call in your future gratitudes. So it includes one banana phone, 20 pairs of sparkly pants because I really like sparkly pants. This is all my quesadilla of awesome. 200 talks too much templates, an extra bucket of possibility, and one bag of Brussels sprouts. You know why?
Yes, of course, because I love Brussels sprouts.
Okay, good. I was worried. I'm glad. Okay. Then my husband also had us add not included car keys. She can't find them. Okay.
Oh,
now this.
So, but I think what this points out to everybody is the value of, if you laugh at yourself, what other people think, it doesn't matter.
Totally.
If you can laugh at yourself for the silly stuff that you do and not take yourself or your mistakes too seriously.
And it helps, like we said at the very beginning, it helps people to feel more connected to you. This post had 433 likes, 112 comments. And what's even crazier is this post is from 2 years ago. Last year at Halloween, I just reposted the same exact post, and it was one of our top posts of the year on Instagram. I didn't even edit it. I posted the same exact post.
Wow.
Amazing. And so we use AI for so much of what we're doing, but within it, like intermittently in between, we have an amazing AI system, but in between that, we're adding in these human elements to kind of spice things up a little bit instead of doing what most people are doing. And you can spot it when something is totally all AI, it doesn't work. You feel it.
Right. It sounds plain and boring.
Totally.
I mean, even if you tell it to make it, sound like this, that, or the other celebrity, which you can do, it's
right.
still
like
so
formulaic.
generic.
Yeah,
it is. Well, that's exactly the way ChatGPT works, right? It's a generative predictive engine, right? It's predicting what the next word should be.
Yeah.
So it's going to give you the most likely word that would appear, and that's going to sound pretty generic. So I love the fact that you're AI-ifying your business by inserting yourself into what and allowing AI to help but not replace you.
1,000,000%. Yeah.
So
I love it.
So if somebody wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to reach out?
So the best, most easiest way to reach out is actually through Facebook. But really, if you go to molly.live, Molly, MOLLY.live, you'll find all kinds of goodness on where you can get more magic. We've got all kinds of things. But if you really want a direct line to Molly, you go to my personal Facebook, which is Molly Mahoney. And actually, I would love, we have a bunch of really cool resources on how to add more humanness into your AI. And the way to get that is just message me with the word human on Instagram. And when you do that, you'll trigger one of those really cool messenger bots. It will give you a bunch of goodness for free. And my Instagram is The Prepared Performer, just like this, The Prepared Performer. So send me just the word human. The bot doesn't know how to do it if you're like, human, that was so awesome. You have to just send in the word human, and it unlocks all kinds of magic.
Wow. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
And that concludes our show. Thanks so much to my guest, Molly Mahoney, the prepared performer. I hope you learned something about how to AI-ify your business and embrace your weird. I know I did. Thanks for listening. You've been listening to the Profit Minds podcast. This is your host, Dr. Stephen Kirch. Please visit www.profitminds.net for other episodes or to contact me. Thank you for your positive feedback, comments, questions, and for sharing this show with others. Thanks for listening. Have a grateful day.